Hey guys, welcome to the last day of Mastermind here as we're wrapping up this week and wrapping up this month. I just wanted to give you all a huge shout out for making it to today. I think it's extremely valuable to commit to your business and show up each day through this mastermind because you learn new things each time you watch a video, each time you implement what you've learned and do the challenges. You're going to be learning and experiencing and gaining wisdom all along the way. So give yourself a huge pat on the back for participating in this program and committing to this program to have improvement and have success and make progress in your business. So today we're going to talk about kind of backup plans for what to do when it comes to the end of the month, and maybe you're just one person away, or you're a couple $100 in sales away, you're one party away. What can you do when it comes down to the end of the month and maybe it's the end of the wire and you're working so hard to help make this happen? So first up, let's talk about what you could do if you still need sales. Okay, so if your team has not hit the $5,000 in sales mark, or you have team members but they haven't gone active yet, what can we do? Even if you only have 24 hours left in the month, 48 hours left in the month. I mean, in this situation, you guys have an entire week, right? You have at least a week left that you can use for sales. So that's good. You have a lot of time. But even if you had 48 hours left, I have seen people come up with $1,000, $2,000 in the last 48 hours of the month. I have seen people sign people the last day of the month and turn around and get them active the same day. Like, we have so much time. There's so much we could do here. But if you need sales, okay, one of the best things you could do is put out a sales challenge to your team. Now, I do not want you to do this right now. Okay, we still have time. We have time to see what we're going to have come in for sales. But if it comes down to, say, the last 3 or 4 days of the month, and you're like, okay, we have 4 days left and we still need 500 in sales, or we need 1,000 in sales, what can we do? You could offer a sales challenge to your team. So what that means is basically going to your team and putting out a challenge and saying something like, our team only needs, this much more in sales to reach director. That's so exciting. We're so close to this goal. In order to help reach the goal, I'm throwing out a sales challenge for the team. I challenge each of you to sell 10 mix and chops, or 10 brownie pans, or 10 whatever, insert the name of the product. Now, the product you pick for this price point is really good to think of something that's like around, the $20 price point, maybe $25 price point. Mix and chops are good too. They're around 12 or 15 or whatever they are now. So something that is, within a good price point, but that will also, if they sell 10 of them, help them hit the $200 party. Because when they sell 10 brownie pans, they're not only going to earn the commission on those brownie pans, they're also going to get the host rewards on that too. And they're hosting the party themselves. So they could use the rewards for themselves, or they could raffle them off, or, have it be a little mystery host or whatever. So you could put out a sales challenge to your team and work with your director on this, all right? Your director is going to have a lot of good ideas on what products to use, what sells well in a sales challenge. You don't want to just go into this blindly and do it yourself, right? But the concept is that the end of the month, if there's a few days left and you guys still need some sales, or you need an active team member or whatever, you could use a sales challenge to drive those sales. You could even be giving away freebies and prizes with your team. It can be small stuff, you guys. It could be a trinket out of the dollar bin at Target, right? It could be a $5 Starbucks card. Like, we're talking small things. And I am not big on having you guys invest a bunch of money to reach a thing or whatever, but I think sometimes it's fun to get Happy Mail, right? It could even be a card in the mail with something super small. It doesn't have to be this big thing. It could be candy. You could send them a candy bar in the mail, right? Like, you could send them a little box of chocolates. I don't know about you guys, I like receiving kind of random fun stuff like that too. So think about how your team feels, even if you're only investing like $1 in the thing, and then $1 for postage or whatever. So keep it small, but keep it fun. Like, interject some fun into the sales challenge. The person that sells the most brownie pans will get a gift or a prize, or, the person that does whatever gets whatever. Okay, throw out some challenges for your team, and that will help with the sales gap. Okay, but don't do it alone. And you only want to use a sales challenge when you need it. Okay, so if you're sitting here and you're thinking, well, we got the sales in the bag, sales are not going to be a problem here. We need recruits, okay? If sales are in the bag and you don't need help on sales, do not use a sales challenge. You only want to pull out a sales challenge when you absolutely need it, because the more frequently you do something, the less bang it's going to have, because your team becomes desensitized to it, because it's like, oh, it's just another sales challenge. We do those all the time. You know, it's not an exciting thing. It's not a big deal anymore. We do them all the time, right? That's not where you want to go with this. You want it to be, it's in your back pocket. You use it only when you need it, and it's a big deal. It's a fun thing, and it's just there when you absolutely need it. Okay, so that would be something to look at the last like 4 days of the month or so. But I want to give you hope that if you're thinking we have a long way to go on sales, you still have lots of time. There's lots of things you could do at the end of the month to drive sales and drive 1,000 or 2,000 in sales the last few days, if you absolutely have to and you need that much to go to hit your goal. Okay, now let's talk about backup plan for if you need recruits. Okay, let's say sales are in the bag. Or maybe they're not. Maybe you still need help with sales, but you also still need help with recruits. You need both. These tips can help with getting recruits. So we already talked about how to recruit your host, and that's probably the fastest and easiest way, is flipping those kickoff parties to having an active team member. And now they're excited, they're a productive team member. You don't want to just flip hosts to just have a person join your team and they're not going to do anything after that. Like, that's not the purpose, right? But let's say you still need someone and it's the last day of the month. You have everything in place. You have 4 active people. You have over 5,000. You're missing 1 active person. You need to assign someone else. I want you guys to be thinking, like, who could that be, right? Who could be that plan B or that plan C that would join maybe the last day or 2 of the month if that's all you needed was 1 more person? And I will tell you some stories on this. So when you're thinking of who maybe could that be, think about a family member, a really good friend, someone who maybe I shared an interest before, but they didn't bite and didn't take it. And when we talked already about offering incentives on day 3, I believe it was, offering incentives to folks to encourage them. But be thinking maybe more on this wavelength of like a friend, family member, someone like that. So there's a director who was needing a recruit towards the end of the month, and she asked her cousin if her cousin would have an interest in joining. The ask was kind of like, hey, would you be willing to do me a favor? Our team is really close to this big goal. We just need 1 more active team member. Would you be interested in getting a kit and signing up and collecting a few orders to help us, go active or whatever, to help us reach the goal, and you would get a commission check on the 7th, and you get the kit, which is an awesome value, and this, that, and the other. So this cousin joined and said, yes, I'll do that. I'm excited for the kit anyways, like, sure. Her cousin now is a top performer on her team. Her cousin is super excited because she did have a party and she got rolling and she kind of dabbled in it a little bit and did really well. And now she is gung-ho and she's an active, excited, team member. So what's better is not just signing a family member to hit the goal. Like, that's not the objective. The objective is, is there someone that might be willing to do this to help? But at the same time, is there an inkling of interest there that if that interest was fueled and energized and excited, maybe then they become a more longer term, active, productive team member for the team. So I want you to be thinking, who is the person that could be like kind of that back pocket, who's in the back pocket here that if it came down to it, they would join and they would get a kit, and they'd be willing to go collect some orders and hit the streets to collect a few orders to go active by the end of the month. Okay, so that's what I want you to be thinking about is, what's kind of a backup plan for sales? And we talked about sales challenge. And then what's a backup plan for if you need 1 more person, right? If it comes down to it, that's all you need. Like, who could kind of be that person that is in the back pocket, in the wing, waiting, ready to go if you needed it. And ultimately, maybe there's an inkling of interest there so that can be fueled and fired up, and they can turn into an active, productive team member for you. Okay. So I want you guys to be thinking about what's next, okay? What's next here after this after we reach our goal, what's next is you reach director, celebrate, okay? I want you guys to share in the challenge today what you're gonna do to celebrate. How are you gonna celebrate when you reach director? Who's gonna be proud of you? Who are you gonna celebrate with, okay? But when you reach director, to maintain director, you don't need 5 active people every single month. This is the only month you are working to have 5 active people. That's one of the hardest pieces sometimes, is just getting those moving parts, getting those 5 people, getting them active. And guess what? You only have to do it this month to hit it. Next month, to maintain director, you need 750 in personal sales for you, minimum, and 5,000 in team sales, okay? You just gotta hit the sales mark. And then you maintain director and you continue to be paid as a director each month when you hit the sales requirements. So this is really the month that you just kind of need the stars to align in the right places. You'll hit it, and then to maintain it, it's just all about maintaining the sales, all right? So also, as a new director, you'll get invited to a new director training that I put on, so that you guys can hear and see and experience, like, now we hit director, what's next, what's important as a new director, getting that support and that encouragement, and knowing, okay, now we did this, now where do I go from here, and what's important to me now that I'm a director, and how do we take care of this next level. So that's super exciting as well. So this is your challenge for today, okay? I want you guys to think of your kind of plan B and plan C for sales. And I want you to think of your plan B and your plan C for recruits, okay? So what could you do, come the end of the month if you needed more sales? What product, maybe would you throw out for a sales challenge? And then talk with your director, about that beforehand. And then from a recruiting standpoint, who could be that 5th person, if that's just kind of that was all that was needed at the end of the month, right? Like, and feel free to start reaching out to people to kind of gauge interest, as far as if anyone in your close circle might have interest in joining. And then I also want you guys to think about how you're going to celebrate and share with us on the challenge post. When you reach director, how are you going to celebrate? Who's going to be proud of you? What are you going to do? Because I think sometimes we work hard in our business and we work hard to achieve the thing, and sometimes we don't take time to soak in those moments, and we don't take time to congratulate ourselves and sit and soak it in. And I want you guys to do that, because anytime you work towards a goal and reach it, it's good to not just move on to the next thing right away. It's good to sit and revel in the moment and celebrate and get excited about it. All right. So here's the most important thing for you guys as we leave this week. You still have an entire week left to reach your goal. That is a lot of time, a lot of time. Okay, trust me, I've seen a lot of things happen in a week's time. So I want to encourage you, as you wrap up next week, and as you're still working towards your goal, and as you maybe still need sales and recruits, do not give up. Go to the end, to the very last minute of the month, because there's so much opportunity out there in these last days of the last week of the month, the last days of the month. And partner with your director. Your director is your source of wisdom, your source of guidance. They can help you. They know tips. They know different things you can do to help reach your goal. So I want you all to know, every single one of you could reach director this month, whether you have 2 people on your team right now, you have 3 people on your team right now, it does not matter. You could totally hit it. The other thing too, one last thing here I want to leave you guys with, is talk with your director about starting a group chat with your team. If you have not already started a group chat with your team members, reach out to your director about that and just say, hey, Kristen shared on the mastermind call today something about starting a group chat with my team, and I don't know what that is or what I should be doing with that. So reach out to them and they can give you steps on how to kind of start that chat with your team, because I think it's really good to start that synergy and that get the ball rolling with your team on how to really become your own unit, how to share the goal with them of what you guys are working towards. So I'll add that to your challenge, is to reach out to your upline director to talk about creating a group chat with your team. Okay. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in and thanks for being here. Give yourself a pat on the back for finishing this program. And I cannot wait to congratulate and recognize those of you who reached director this month. All right. Bye.